Hello and welcome to Logan High School. My name is Mr. Mummy. I will be teaching Algebra 1 this 2019-2020 school year, and I wanted to take the time to go over the syllabus with you all. Now, I'm going to also go over this with the students on the first day or so that we meet, just to ensure that we go through everything, but also to have a copy of it on the website that we will be talking about here in a bit, so you can always reference back to that. As I said, this is Algebra 1, and my name is Mr. Mummy. So, easiest way to get a hold of me is by emailing me, because when I'm teaching during classes, I don't have any time to answer any questions outside of that. But during my open periods, which are fourth period, sixth period, and seventh period, I am available for questions then. But if you want to send me an email, jmummy@lhsd.k12.oh.us. Okay, that is the best way to get a hold of me, and I usually am quick to reply to that. Another important website, which we'll also reference later on in the syllabus here, is my classroom website, which is mrmummy.shutterfly.com. On that website, we will have notes and lessons and any assignments or links or handouts. I believe there's also a copy of the syllabus on here where you can also access it and click the links that I do have on this piece of paper. Okay? All right, let's talk about required supplies. I require you to have a notebook, a 3-ring binder, because how we take notes in this class is I will have handouts for you, and we will fill in the blanks, do the work on the papers, and then you get to keep them after we are done. So you will need a 3-ring binder to keep all your notes organized in there. At some point during the year, I will be doing some note check. I'll try to make sure I have time enough in class to not only look at what you have, but also grade it, because I don't want to have to keep your notes from you for a whole day. I'd rather grade it and then get it back to you. Okay. If you need additional paper to show work on, or if you just like copy your notes on your own paper, you're more than welcome to have that. Pencils or pens. If you are going to use pens, I would prefer that you use black or blue, because when I do grade stuff in class, even though the majority of it is electronic, I will be grading in red. So if you have your notes in black and blue, or anything that you do in this class in black and blue, that will be a lot easier. Next thing we have here is the TI-30X2S, which is the calculators that I have available in class. They look like this here. Okay. They also come in other different colors, but the classroom set that I have is red. You do not need to purchase one of these for the classroom. You only need to purchase one of these if you want to have accessibility to it outside of the classroom, because my classroom set, unfortunately, I do not have enough to be able to rent out to students outside my room. I believe you can find these at Walmart. They are not that expensive, but if you have issues with that, there is also some online resources you can use that does all the functions that this calculator does. Now, this link we have right here is the Desmos graphing calculator. We'll be working with that also a little bit in class, and it is, I believe, the calculator that they will be allowing you to use on the state test, so we'll also be doing some more work with that. Course description and objectives. Topics in this class we're going to cover are going to be real numbers, equations, and inequalities, open sentences and 2 variables and their graphs, systems of open sentences and their graphs, polynomials, rational expressions, quadratic equations, relations and functions, polynomial and rational functions, statistics, and probability. I know that's a lot right there, but this is what we are going to be covering in this class, and I will have later on the syllabus kind of a little bit breakdown of when we plan to get to those. All right, ebook name. The students do not have a textbook actually in this class. It's the electronic textbook, ebook there. I will have links on the syllabus here and also on my website to the ebook, so you can access that easily. Even though really how we're going to be doing assignments this year, we're not going to be taking them too much from the ebook, but other sites and resources as well. But if you do want to look at the book and get maybe a couple more examples from it, we're more than welcome. We provide that service for you there. Okay, sites of interest here. I've already said a couple of these. My lesson plan website, which is mrmummy.shutterfly.com. All lessons are posted on there, meaning notes we took in class, any assignments, any handouts, any other links or resources that you may need. This video is also going to be posted on the website, because I plan to, at some point during the day, during my free time, teach the lesson to an empty room, kind of like I am doing right now. So that way I have links to these videos on the website. So if you weren't able to be in class, or even if you were, you didn't quite understand something, you can watch me teach it again, whether or not that'll be on the website or maybe a link to a YouTube classroom. I'm not sure exactly which one I'm going to do at this time, but whichever one works the best is the one we're going to be choosing. The PearsonRealize.com, that's where our textbook and other resources are. The majority of our tests that we take are going to be on the Pearson website, and we should be able to get logins to everything for that, including the IXL site, which is where most of our assignments come from. We'll be having logins for both of these, if not beginning of the year, really close to the beginning of the year. So we will be able to access those as soon as they become available to us. The practice air tests here, if you access that link, that way you can be able to prepare yourselves for the end of year course exam. We'll, throughout the year, we'll go to this site on certain days and access those tests and see how we're doing progress-wise to kind of help us better prepare ourselves for that end of course exam. Okay, grades in this class. 50% of your grade is going to be from tests, 25% is going to be from quizzes, and the other 25% is going to be from assignments, whether that be in-class assignments, out-of-class assignments, notebook checks, or etc. Okay, so that is how the grades are weighted in this class: 50% for tests, 25 for quizzes, and 25 for assignments. Okay, the grading scale is in the student handbook for here Logan High School. So if you have any questions on that, you can always access that. Okay, I'm going to flip to the back here where I do have a long list of classroom rules. Now, a lot of these are self-explanatory, and the majority of these are actually going to be in the handbook. These are just ones I like to clarify a little bit and talk about them. All right, tests and quizzes will be taken on time unless an excused absence warrants an extension per the student handbook policy. Quizzes and tests, for the majority of the part, are going to be needed to be taken in class. Now, even though students are not able to come to ask me questions while I'm teaching other students, if you must make up a test or a quiz, you do have the opportunity to come in any period that I am here at school. Okay? You just will not be able to ask any questions, but of course, during a test or a quiz, I'm going to be refraining from asking. You're going to be not able to ask questions too much anyways, besides something small, which I will be able to access to. So that is the only time that you'll be able to come into class when I have other students, is if you have to make up a test or a quiz for me, or to reassess. Assignments, once again, be expected to turn them in on the due date. I already talked about tests and quizzes being taken in class, but they are expected to be completed, earning a grade of at least 70%. Now, once again, if we do not turn in assignments or tests or quizzes, or if we don't get 70%, we will need to look at reassessing, which we will be going over in class. I might also have another link to a video where I explain that process. But once again, our goal here is to make sure that we are comprehending the material. So make sure we take the effort to come into class or come out, ask questions to be able to get those grades up. Okay, I'll be available as much as I can, before and after school, even some days, to be able to answer questions as well. Each student must show respect towards your teacher, or if I'm not here, the substitute, and fellow classmates. You need to use the restroom before you come into class, place books on your desk, and go to the restroom before class. Otherwise, wait until after class is over. Now, there has been a new policy on this one since I have typed up this document. So this has changed a little bit, okay? This has changed a little bit. Now they are not wanting students to be going to class, to go into the restroom the first 10 minutes of the period and the final 10 minutes of the period. Now that does cause for a little bit of chaos with this. So what we are going to end up doing is, and this is a little bit of an extreme, but I think we're going to be able to handle it here at the high school level, for my class at least. I am not going to allow students to use the restrooms. Now I do understand that absolute emergencies do come up. In those cases, I will allow a student to use the restroom, but keep in mind that I am also going to be writing the name down of that student. And if all of a sudden we start to realize that you're doing this several times within a month, then we're going to have to take a little bit of a course of action. But once again, we're in high school here. I believe we're going to be able to, if you understand that you need to use the restroom, use it on the way to class and then come to me, because they are no longer wanting you in the restrooms for the first and last 10 minutes of the period. So since that makes things a little bit harder, we only have 42 minutes of the period anyways, That's why I'm going to implement this rule of the no restrooms unless it's an emergency. You're expected to be in your assigned seat at the tardy bell. If you are not, you are considered tardy. That does not mean you walk through my door when the bell rings. You must be in your seat. Okay, so make sure you're in your seat. You leave yourself time to do that. Always bring proper materials to class every day. Students must keep book bags underneath their desks. Now, what I want you to make sure you're bringing in your notes, make sure you're bringing stuff to write with, if you have your own calculator, and make sure your book bags are placed underneath your desks. I will walk around to make sure everyone is working, or if someone has questions. I do not want to trip on your book bags, okay? Or if someone needs to get up to sharpen a pencil or get a tissue or something, they should not have to try to climb over your stuff. There's plenty of room for you to keep it under your desk, so I would like you to do so. There's been no form of food in this classroom. This includes chewing gum. You will not chew on pieces of paper, plastic, or your tongue, or etc. Now, if you're wondering why I put plastic, your tongue, or etc., that just comes from experience that I've had to deal with in the past of students chewing on paper, plastic, or chewing on their tongue. Okay? Water bottles must be in a bottle, a water bottle, not a thermos or anything like that, and must have a cap or lid. Okay? It's got to be a water bottle. Okay? No other type of liquid, not even Propel. I know Propel looks like water, but it is not. It's very similar to Gatorade. Okay? Now, this becomes a problem where I have spills. This rule will be changed to having no water in class. But the good thing is we do have 4 minutes between each period, so if you are parched, you should be able to stop at a water fountain on your way to your next class. Always remain in your seat until the bell rings for dismissal. I know some of these rules are pretty self-explanatory, but I want to make sure we are implementing these in our class. Must follow all the rules in the handbook. Any form of cheating or on any assignment will not be tolerated in this class. I will go ahead and tell you, I will follow the student handbook when it comes to any form of cheating in this. Okay? Make sure we do not do that. I know that seems pretty, basic, but very important. Now, you can't really tell a little bit, but probably a little bit. This is in bold because this is a big rule for not only the school this year, but this is one of my biggest rules as I've been a teacher. Absolutely no cell phone, camera, or electronic devices permitted in the class for any reason. Whether in use or not, if seen or heard by Mr. Mummy, it will be confiscated on the first offense and turned into Mr. Ramage's office. Consider this your warning. Okay? Now, I do understand you guys have the Chromebooks. That is the only electronic device you're allowed to have. If I see your cell phone, hear your cell phone, see it in your pocket, I will ask you to hand it over to me, and if you do not, you will be going down to Mr. Ramage's office. Okay? The cell phones are supposed to be turned off and in your book bag. Now, also with headphones, you are not allowed to have headphones out as well. Okay? So make sure if there's something in class that I need you to listen to, I will play it so everyone can listen to it in the room. No headphones in this class. I will confiscate those as well. Course outline here. Okay, first grading period, we're going to be covering the first two topics, second, third, and fourth. You can go ahead and kind of read through those. I kind of mentioned these already on the other side of the syllabus. All is adapted to change in case of calamity days. Now, of course, we know snow days do occur, flood days do occur. So if something were to happen, maybe one of these subjects will get pushed back or pushed forward or moved around altogether. Okay? So just be aware that changes to this might occur. Maybe topic 9 won't be done until fourth grading period, or something else may change. Occasionally, extra credit assignments will be given to the whole class. They will never be given on an individual basis. Okay? Now, the great thing here is if you want your grades to go up, there are reassessments that can occur. Okay? We can reassess over tests and quizzes, so that is the best way to bring your grade up. You do not have to have a 70 or below to reassess anything in my class. If you have a 90 and you want to get that up to a 95, you can reassess. Just have to fill out the form that I'll talk about on another day and take that test in here. Okay? So it's not only just for those who are having under 70% on a test or quiz. Anyone can reassess over anything. Obviously, I understand maybe a 99, maybe it's not something you want to reassess over. But if you don't want the 99, you want to go for the 100, we can do that. All right. Now this bottom here is just more of a closing, but I do want to make sure reference 4th, 6th, 7th, before and after school, I am available to help. All right. The only cases where before school would not work would be on Tuesdays. Okay. And what I plan on doing is having a little bit more of an updated syllabus when I post this online, because some things have changed and actually just today. So Tuesdays I actually have bus duty, so I won't be able to be available for Tuesday before school. Now after school I am available all the time except from November to February. Actually maybe even a little bit into March. I am the new wrestling coach this year, so I will not be able to because I have to be available to be down in the wrestling room for practice. But I will be able to answer any questions you may have any of those 3 periods, as long as if you're during these 3 periods, if you're supposed to be with someone else, you need to have a pass from that teacher to come to me. Okay? But like I said, the best way to get a hold of me is by just sending me an email. Now, you might not be able to type the question in because it might be a little bit hard to type it if you're going to type an entire equation. But if you ask me a question, I will do my best to answer not only quickly, but I might do something like this where I send you a link, and especially if it's over a question of, could you maybe show me how to use the quadratic formula? I might do some video like this where once again you have me showing it to you. Okay? Once again, I want to welcome you all to Logan High School. Being my first year here, I am very excited to be in the system, and I look forward to working with you all. Have a nice day.